Hey guys, welcome back to my channel today. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a foundation wear test. This is the new Dior foundation, and there are two actually that they've just recently released. There's one that is a more matte finish, and there's one that's called the Skin Glow. That one is more of a radiant finish. So I did pick up the Skin Glow version, the radiant version. I am not one to really gravitate towards matte finishes on the regular, so I figured I would get the one that I feel like would look the best on me, which is like glowier skin. So I'm super excited to give this one a try. I will be testing it live on camera for you guys, giving you my first impressions. Then I will definitely do a wear test and check in with you guys, let you guys know what I think about how it's worn throughout the day. Before we get started though, I do want to introduce myself. If you guys are new to my channel, hello, my name is Jena. It is so nice to meet you. I chat about high-end and luxury makeup only on this channel. I do a lot of high-end reviews and hauls and just all that fun stuff. And without further ado, let's get on to my thoughts on this new Dior foundation. So first things first, let's talk about the packaging. You guys, the packaging is amazing. This is incredibly luxe, and I love that. Dior is a high-end luxury brand, so I love that this packaging is very much fitting its price tag. The packaging is glass and it feels very weighty in the hand, so I really love that. This is going to retail for 52 American dollars or 64 Canadian dollars. It is available at Sephora right now and also at Nordstrom. This Skin Glow formulation is in 24 shades and the matte formulation is in 28 shades. This foundation also has active sunscreen in it, so it is an SPF of 35. There are two sunscreen types in this formula as well. So there's a physical and a chemical sunscreen. The physical sunscreen is titanium dioxide at 1.75%. I'm just reading off of the packaging here. The chemical sunscreen is octinoxate. I think that's how you pronounce it. It is 3%, so there is definitely more of a higher component of the chemical sunscreen versus the physical sunscreen aspect. So for the Skin Glow foundation, Dior is claiming that this is a medium to full coverage foundation. It remains flawless for up to 24 hours, and it is a radiant finish, of course, because it's the Skin Glow. So super excited about that. This is, of course, liquid, and it is for all skin types. I am actually a normal to oily skin type as well, so I wouldn't call myself combination because I don't have any dry patches like naturally. What I do have going on right now actually is some dryness because I am doing some active acne treatment at the moment. So in my chin area here, right now it's covered with concealer, so it looks probably a lot better than it really is, but it actually is being treated right now with Tactipump, which is a Canadian version of Epiduo, and that is a benzoyl peroxide and retinoid kind of combination active serum to kind of help with my cystic acne. So it is drying out my skin in that particular section. So right now I am kind of dealing with combination skin at the moment. So now that you know all of that, I'm going to get my beauty blender. I'm going to wet it under the tap, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I just put some on the back of my hand here. The shade I picked up today is 1.5N, so it's going to be a neutral for light skin tones. And my experience with some of the Dior products is they tend to oxidize slightly on me, so that's why I went a little bit lighter than I would normally pick. I think my preferred shade would be 2N, but that's only if it doesn't darken at all, and it does darken slightly. Anyways, what I'm seeing right now, this is applying really beautifully. I really like how my beauty blender seems to be taking it, you know, really nicely on my skin. I think it's actually doing a little bit goes a long way kind of idea. Like it's not, you know, drying down super quick, so I love that. It's definitely a medium coverage for sure, so that is 100% accurate. And I'm gonna go add a little bit more to my beauty blender as well and see if I can actually make this buildable or not. This has a mild smell to it. It's a little bit perfumey, but it's not strong. So I do like that. It's not gonna be overpowering at all. One trick I always do when I apply foundation is I always make sure to do my forehead last because I do have some lines kind of developing in my head, just normal, you know, aging, whatever. And when I do, like I am pretty expressive, so when I'm putting on my eyeshadow or my eye products, I go like this quite a bit with my, you know, my eyebrows go up and then all of this skin starts to cinch and like gets kind of wrinkles get shown and all that. So to kind of prevent the product from getting settled in there, I always do that last. And what I do is I just make sure I'm not going to raise my eyebrows moving forward at all. I just do that step last with my forehead. This as well, you guys, is on unprimed skin. I wanted to see how it would look first time around with unprimed skin because it's just always interesting to me. I do think to a lot of you guys, you don't necessarily want to have that first step of having to prime the skin. I mean, some people will do it every time and some people are just more on the go. They're not going to want to prime. So it's nice to know how it performs without any assistance, if that makes sense. We have the first coat on and it's definitely a medium. I do really like that. I do find as well that it is buildable. So I have some redness on my cheeks and I like to do a second layer just so that it kind of really covers it. And this seems to layer on top of itself really, really nicely. Okay guys, now the foundation is on, I'm gonna quickly go ahead and do the rest of my face and then I will be right back. Alright guys, so I am back with the rest of my makeup and I do have some first impression thoughts before we get into the wear test. First of all, I do think that this is going to be a product that is going to transfer on you as I'm putting my hand to my cheek and then pressing it off. It's not like it's fully dried down. I can tell that there's some product on my finger. So even though I set my makeup, it is going to move around. So just keep that in mind. The second thing too is that what I'm finding with this one is that despite its claim of saying there's going to be tighter looking pores with this product, I wouldn't necessarily agree with that. I don't have any primer on underneath like I mentioned earlier. And the portions of my face that do have bigger pores, more accentuated texture it's not bumpy per se, but they're just bigger pores that if they are like accentuated, those are the spots they're going to show up in. And it's definitely kind of in my eye area here on both sides and on the bridge of my nose. That's where I have some really big pores. It's not accentuating it, but it's not making it look any better. So I don't necessarily agree with their claim saying that it's like tighter looking pores because where my pores are the largest, nothing is really happening there. But I'm hoping that as this wears throughout the day, that maybe this will kind of settle in a little bit more and hopefully not accentuate anything, but I'll definitely let you guys know. Overall, the strengths of this product are it does have a really nice radiance to it. It's really nice and glowy. I love that. I do think that it's very easy to apply. It's easy to build. I love that, there is definitely some oxidizing going on here, so just keep that in mind. I did choose 1.5 and I am still seeing a little bit of some darkness, but it's not that bad where I'm like, yikes, wrong color foundation. So definitely I would say do a half shade down. There are a lot of fractions of shades in their line, like 1, 1.5, 2, things like that. So it'll be easier to do with this product. I do like the packaging on this one better, but I like my face and body product a little bit better so far. And that's just initially, so I'll definitely update. I just think the face and body really kind of gives my pores more of that smoothness effect. It doesn't really sit on top of them. It just kind of flattens and smooths it out. And I don't have to wear a primer with that one and it still looks really nice. Whereas I do think this is going to be a product where I'm going to have to add a primer to, especially in my pore area, so that it makes it look a little bit better. So I do think this might be a product where I need to do an extra step. So far, those are my thoughts. I'll definitely check in after 8 hours. All right, so it has officially been 8 hours since I have put this foundation on, and as it wears, it does have a little bit of like a melting effect into the skin. It just takes a little bit longer, I would say, than some of the other Dior foundations that I have played with before. For the Skin Glow foundation, I did know around hour 2, hour 3 that it started to do its melting thing. So with Dior foundations, they just look very skin-like. They look beautiful. Again, they don't hold a candle to my La Mer foundation. I think that's just like the holy grail of foundations. But I do think that this one probably doesn't do its like melting thing as quickly because it's the Radiant Finish product. So that could be just like a guess, maybe a gander as to why that wasn't happening. But I found that this one wore a little bit better throughout the day. Whereas I do find that when the Forever foundation does wear as the day goes by, yes, it melts into the skin quicker, but I do find that the matte part of this foundation, like it is a comfortable matte finish. I do think the matte, like the mattiness of the foundation tends to be quite evident towards the end of the day. It's that powdery kind of look that you feel and you see on the skin, whereas this one has worn really nicely throughout the day, but it doesn't seem to melt into the skin as quickly. So I would say give this one about 1 to 2 hours for it to really have its like optimal kind of meltiness to it. I would also recommend using a pore perfecting primer for this one, especially if you have any like textured areas or anything that is larger like myself. That's what I'm going to do moving forward so it looks its absolute best, because when you're putting on your makeup, you really can't afford to wait those 1 to 2 hours for it to look optimal. And even when it did kind of settle into the skin, I did find that it helped my pores a little bit, but not to the point of what it claimed, which was like tight looking and smooth. This definitely is really nice. It's really good. At this point, we are just like nitpicking, right? But it's an expensive product, so you gotta know all the details, and I do think that this one is going to be optimal with a pore perfecting primer. Make sure you're accounting for the shades oxidizing on you a little bit, because they do with me. That is just my 2 cents. Let me know down below as well. Are you interested in this foundation? Are you into the matte version? Have you tried either one of them? Like I said, I might be able to be convinced if I hear a lot of great things about the matte foundation. You'll have to let me know down below. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to let me know by giving it a big thumbs up, as well as don't forget to subscribe on your way out if you liked this review. I would love to see you guys again. And until my next one, guys, take care. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!
You and me, everything that we've been through has made us strong. You won't believe we've had our gray, but somewhere there's a light inside of us. It shows the way.